Hey, hey, hey. Remember the show What's Happening? That's my terrible impression of Dwayne from What's Happening. Thanks for watching. It's Jerry Teabag Hack here. Hockey books and storytellers with Teabag and Tone. Coming to you from Mission Control in Mission, British Columbia. That music, unmistakable. But we've got business to take care of first. We're going to plug a company here that I met today. They were next door when Brooklyn was selling cookies at the Griner Open Air Market today. They are the Daydreamer Designs, and they are specialists in stickers, cards, and stationery. They got a lot of interesting products, lots to choose from. So check them out on Instagram, Facebook, and Pinterest. And I will post their email address when I edit this. So, yeah, I said I'd give them a plug, and there you go. So check them out. Now, movie review day, Thursday, August 24th. And we're going to do, ultimately, we're going to do Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. But I thought, put my notes up. I thought that we would do kind of an overview of the whole series because it just seemed prudent because, this is the conclusion of the franchise. And I thought, let's just give an overview of everything before we get to the review of Dial of Destiny. So, now you know how I feel about Raiders of the Lost Ark. I mean, I've said it before. It's one of my favorites of all time, and definitely a 10 out of 10 classic in Jerry's scale of things. Excuse me, I'm a bit parched. So yeah, the story goes, I was at Lougheed Mall in Burnaby, and Raiders of the Lost Ark was playing at the theater, and it just happened to be the right time. And I had heard nothing about the movie. There's no TV, no television, no ads, no nothing. Didn't see it in the newspaper. I walked in totally blind, not knowing what I was going to see, and I thought, well, this can't be any worse than eating Raoul. So I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And I walked in, and man, was I blown away. It was just so much fun. And I went and saw it 6 days in a row. And that's no lie. I went again and again and again, and yeah, because I loved it so much. So, and it happened to have the thing that got me the most was that it had the best opening scene, and I've got it here for you. So take a look.
Let us hurry. There is nothing to fear here. That's what scares me. Stay here. If you insist, senor.
idol. No time to argue. Throw me the idol. I throw you the whip.
Give me the whip.
Adiós, señor.
Adiós, suspiro.
So much fun. When I first saw that boulder come down, it was crazy. But what I'd really like to know is how much they paid that actor to face plant like that. Like, I don't think I could have done it. I would have put my hands out. They must have paid him extra because he he took one for the team there. Now, an interesting side note with that scene, if you remember this actor here, that is Alfred Molina, believe it or not. And you might remember him better as Doc Ock in Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. I remember watching it a little while ago. I thought, that's Alfred Molina. And then I looked on the credits and yeah, there he was. So interesting how background characters, can become stars. Now, having said that, we move on to Temple of Doom. Now, Temple of Doom is my least favorite Indiana Jones movie. I mean, it's very dark and although it's not without humor, Ki Hai Kwan is very funny as Short Round, Indy's sidekick, but it seemed the whole premise to the movie was to gross you out. Like there's just no end to the bugs and the worms and the snakes and rats and eyeballs and just every possible way they could gross you out, they tried. And Kate Capshaw is beautiful, but as beautiful as she is just that annoying. I mean, this was such a disappointment from Raiders of the Lost Ark, where Karen Allen was so good. I mean, she was scrappy and she was every bit as feisty as Indiana Jones, and was a foible to his character, and how the two interacted with each other was was so good. And this one was just she was just annoying. I mean, all she did was scream and say, "Oh my god," and just like, yeah, I found her to be the worst of the lead actors for the female roles in the indie movies. So yeah. Oh, this guy, he got uh this guy here, he was the best part of the movie. I mean, if you don't look at him and think he is evil, I mean, you are just not human. I mean, he was so good. His name is Amrish Puri, and he is an A-list Indian actor in India's Hollywood. You know that you may not know this, but India has the second biggest movie industry next to the US. They make some of the best movies going. I mean, if you've seen Slumdog Millionaire, Yeah, and this guy, I mean, just look at those eyes. I mean, he could look at you and burn a hole in your head. So, yeah, that was the best part about Temple of Doom, and I've got a clip here for you.
Go on, go on! Get moving! Shorty! Chao Chi! Lapsu Tsangza!
Hello, lady, we're going for a ride.
Oh my god! Oh my god.
Yeah, see, there she is saying your line right on cue. So, yeah, Temple of Doom, it's still a lot of fun. It's like one long chase scene, and there's a lot of action and a lot of, you know, it's good, and it's worth the 2 hours. But as for the indie franchise, it is a distant number 5 on a list of 5. So, you know, still watchable, eminently watchable, but yeah, just not. uh Spielberg and Lucas kind of went off into the weeds here for something. They must have had something going on, because they just didn't follow what worked the first time. So, and as bad as that was, the Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, was that much better. It followed what worked the first time, and they went back to that, and the chemistry between Sean Connery and Harrison Ford is unmistakable. I mean, you would have really thought that they were father and son. It was just that good, and there's so much comedic element in it, and they are father and son, but they, in a manner of speaking, they become brothers. And I'm not going to use the bigoted term for it, but so in one way they were kind of like brothers. So um I'll leave that as it is, but yeah, I would have liked to have seen them go on with that in another movie, with that relationship, but it just wasn't meant to be. There was too long of a gap in between the movies, and it just didn't work out. Now, the opening scene, The Last Crusade, goes back into Indy's youth, and as a young man. I think he's like 12 or 13 in the opening scene. It is River Phoenix is playing Indiana Jones, and always good to see River Phoenix on screen. He just is such a talented actor, and it was such a waste when he died so young. So The Last Crusade had the best line in it. So here that is.
Oh, yes. It's more beautiful than I ever imagined. This certainly is the cup of the King of Kings. Eternal life. What is happening to me? He chose poorly.
He chose poorly. Thank you, sir. Understatement of Galahad. He chose poorly. No doubt. Yeah. Allison Duty, she reclaimed the strong female lead part in an indie movie, so she was very good. I had to give her props. So Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, yeah, it was actually one of the most successful movies in the franchise. I think it was either first or second. And yeah, so next was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Now there are crystal skulls in the world. This one's in the British Museum. People would say that they have special powers and stuff, but that's all been debunked. They're just carvings out of quartz. So, yeah, very, very interesting. But Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Let me pull up my notes here. Yeah, when I first saw this one, I was disappointed. I didn't like it at all. I thought, aliens, really? Yeah, just didn't work for me at the time. But when I was preparing for this review, I forced myself to rewatch it. And I thought, hey, this is actually not bad, and it's pretty good. Kate Blanchett is just priceless in this. She is so good, and there's not enough compliments in the English language to foment what she is. I mean, she is so good, and she can seemingly change her form, her humanity to fit a role, and she has been in so many good, man, there's just not enough terms for good in the English language. She is so excellent, and she's like chameleon like in the way that she changes. And so in the Crystal Skull, she is excellent. And I have a clip here. Watch.
Gift, Dr. Jones, is a gift you have yet to receive. My sympathies.
Oh, I believe, sister. That's why I'm down here.
I want to know everything. I want to know.
I've got a bad feeling about this.
Andy? The eyes. I want to know. Tell me. I'm ready. I want to know.
Back! Back! Come on! Back! God damn it, now!
I can see
the Vulcan mind meld 2.0 there. So yeah, Kate Blanchett, man, she is just the best. So we finally get to actually, a few things I wanted to mention there. You see John Hurt in that. He actually didn't die in this movie. So he has died on screen more time than any other actor. Apparently, he's like 48 times he's died on screen. Um, Now the skull there, the one thing that bothered me about this movie, the crystal skull, they obviously weren't made of the prop itself was obviously made of plastic. I mean, they're tossing it around like a football during the whole movie, and so crystal is heavy, and it just like they just and they could juggle three of them probably. So that always kind of bothered me about the movie. And another thing too is the actor there who played Mac, the CIA agent, his name is Ray Winston. And he is seen here with Ben Kingsley in a movie called Sexy Beast. And if you haven't seen this movie, I highly recommend it. It's very blue. It's a mob movie like no other, and it's just a lot of bad language in it. The worst kind of bad language. But the movie is so good. Ben Kingsley is at his best in this movie. So, yeah, be sure to check that one out. Now we get to Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. We'll start at the beginning in the opening scene. Indiana Jones is back to being young Indiana Jones. He's in his heyday, fighting Nazis at the end of World War II and looking for artifacts, and he finds one, but it's a fake, and he stumbles onto this. It's called I'm going to butcher the name of it. This Antikythera, and it's a device that can find time fissures or fissures in the time-space continuum. And it was made by, I was going to butcher another name here, Archimedes, the Greek physicist, engineer, mathematician. And so this Antikythera is wanted by the Nazis, of course. And then after the opening scene, after they fight in World War II, they forge ahead into 1969 and Indiana Jones. The odometer's gone around a few times, and he's pretty much at the end. He's retiring as a professor, and in comes the female interloper into his life, and it's not a romantic interest, it's his long lost goddaughter. And and so she's looking for this Antikythera thing, and Indiana Jones has half of it, and so they have to look for the other half. And obviously they brilliantly pull in the Nazis again, even though it's 1969. And I thought it was just a stroke of genius pulling in the Nazis how they did. And so yeah, they go hopping from continent to continent, car chases, fights, and betrayal and everything you everything you want in an Indiana Jones movie. So it was a lot of fun, and that's Steven Spielberg didn't direct this one. I believe the director's name was James Mangold. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But he did a great imitation of Spielberg. I mean, the feel of the movie is there, and the antics, and um, the villains, great villains. There's this one guy, I couldn't believe how big he was. Like he's just huge, and he is the nemesis of Indiana Jones, and so the bane of his existence time and time again. So it was a lot of fun, a great movie, and it was good to see John Rhys Davies makes a his reprises his role as Salah, and he's very good, always very good. And Karen Allen comes back as Marion, and she just has a brief cameo, but very brief, but Ford and Ellen replay a scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark, and it's very touching, and it just tugs at your heartstrings and it really brought a tear to my eyes. So this movie was a great lot of fun and a fitting end to the franchise, worthy of everything that Indiana Jones is about, and I really enjoyed it, and I give it a solid 7, maybe can climb up to an 8, and weirdly enough, this movie is considered a flop. Apparently Disney, who owns the Indiana Jones franchise now, having bought it from George Lucas, they needed to make 600 million, and they are only about 2/3 of the way to that. So yeah, considered a flop, but great movie, great time. You won't regret seeing it, and yeah, a very worthy end to the franchise. So I've got the trailer for it. Enjoy it. Happy Thursday, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I will see you on Monday. Not sure what the book review is going to be. I'm thinking it'll be a Stan Fischler book, but we will see. So have a great weekend, everybody, and enjoy the trailer for Dial of Destiny.
I'm retiring.
Well, in that case, what are we drinking?
Same for the goddaughter.
Dad told me you found something on a train during the war. A dial that could change the course of history.
Why are you chasing the thing that drove your father crazy? Don't move.
We need to get out of here.
Stop!
Sorry.
Helena! Dr. Jones, get him. Hitler made mistakes, and with this, I will correct them all.
You stole it.
Then you stole it.
And then I stole it. It's called capitalism.
This way!
Fasten your seatbelt. There might be some turbulence.
You've taken your chances, made your mistakes, and now a final triumph.
Give him hell, Indiana Jones! A few times in my life, I've seen things. I've been tortured with voodoo. Been shot 9 times, including once by your father. Sorry! But I've been looking for this all my life.